So on our Thursday chats, I've got hold of Tim Crookall, Minister for Infrastructure. We should have had you last week, but didn't work out. I went instead for a walk along the prom. I know you haven't seen it yet, but it's stuff that I'm sure you're well aware of, what's going on, what isn't going on. Interesting though that my prom, for instance, the website hasn't been updated since November. Have you given up on all this, or is this something you haven't even heard about?
They did say on the one before last that the next one will be the last one. Yeah, so
right.
They finished.
Maybe it should carry on. I don't know, because there's still work going on. That's all, you know.
There is, but as you well know, it's not an awful lot now. We are getting towards the end. There's bits and pieces on the pavements, and the tram lines have got to be finished towards the end of February, but we are getting towards the end, so it was felt it was time to wind down my prom. Well,
let's do it. I mean, the tram lines, which was still being worked on when I went along, do you think February that'll be it?
February the 22nd, the points are due over, and then it's about 3 to 4 weeks to get those lines sorted then, so that'll be the end of those, so that will take us, I suppose, towards the end of March, if you like, and then after that, the horses will be out there, hopefully.
When do they start?
Being retrained and stuff.
Oh, I see.
I'm told it's an 8 to 12 week. There's some new horses, the older ones, they've not been out for a few years, so they'll need to familiarise themselves, and new ones will have to be taught and things, so.
You seem quite relaxed. I mean, are you fed up with the whole thing of prom? And it gets lots of views, and people are so interested in it. That's the thing. Do you think this is finally going to be put to bed? I mean, they're digging up, that's the Castamona bit, the side road, they're just digging it up again, by the way. I've got that on camera. But I got them square things. Since then, they've literally had the diggers in there.
By the Castamona?
By the Castamona Avenue, Castamona Avenue, just by the central.
Right, I mean, there's bits and pieces to be done, but that's, they're due to be finished by the end of this month. And then when they think they've finished, then the project manager will go down and have a look at it, and if he's happy they've finished, that will then be signed off as completed. But there is then a 4-week period after that, if you like, for snagging, and they've got that, and it's a list they'll be given and say these are the jobs that they still need putting right, and some of that is just small stuff, but at the end of the an expensive project, it needs to look right, and if there's broken tiles or whatever, things like that. Some of them are only small jobs, but they need to be done right.
Do you take much interest in it yourself? I mean,
I drive along it most days. I probably walk along it twice a week.
Right.
So yes.
So I mean, along some of those hotels, there's a whole screw of area for just parking motorcycles, and I pass it most days, and there's never been one cycle there yet. I mean, and then down the far end of the prom, as I call Summerland End, lots of other parking for motorbikes, and yet nothing much up the top end. Are you missing an opportunity to get more cars? I mean, who's going to park in those places?
Those are discussions we've had. I mean, but those lines are down, so it's a case of what do we do with them? Because you know as well as I do, except for TT and Grand Prix, you'll get the odd bike here and there using them, but besides that,
exactly.
So it's better off being used as car parking space.
Because lots of spaces have gone, haven't they?
Yeah. I mean, so we'll have to have a look at trying to find a way around that, Paul. But the space could be better utilised. Yeah. Right. We don't want to start taking lines up and things. So it's a case of if we can readjust it so as cars can use some of those spaces, during the rest of the year, and just leave them for TT Fortnight and Grand Prix.
Yeah.
But we'll have a look at it. But there's quite a few issues like that I've got in my head, which I think aren't right. But the guys will explain it to me why they are right, if they are.
We have this interesting situation that, like the prom lights. Am I right? That's Douglas Council
Corporation. Yeah.
Yeah. And same with the wall that came down into the Sun Gardens.
Yes. Yeah.
This must be quite a strange situation where you're having to do your bit, but work with a partner and get it all together. Because I mean, there's still no lights by the bottom of the roundels, for instance.
All the lights are up, so I think they're just getting the.
Some are missing their cones already, by the way, but just.
Are they?
I think so.
I wasn't aware of that. But,
have a look.
If they are, they might have been taken down for a reason.
They may be.
Or they might not have gone up. But
how do you work together? That maybe is a question on this one.
Oh, they have done since day one.
But that wall needs to be replaced, doesn't it? Again.
Yeah. So DOI are talking to Corpy about what's the best way of doing that, because in the meantime they could rebuild it again, and we could get another, God forbid, we get another inshore wind like that, and it could happen again. So we'll try and make sure that it doesn't happen again. Obviously, there's talk about a seawall going along the whole of the promenade at some stage, or the majority of the promenade. So we'll see. We'll work with the Corpy and see if we can find a way of alleviating and make sure that doesn't happen again.
I suppose I've got to talk about roundels and the tactile crossings. I had to look that up on my prom. That's what they're calling them. The ones that aren't zebras, but look, the same curvature.
Yeah, the grey ones.
The grey ones.
Yeah.
I'm guessing both of those come under the same sort of just beware sort of scenario, is it? No one's got the right way. The pedestrian can't walk out. A car can't just mow over somebody. Well, Keith can't mow over somebody. You know, is that the feeling still? Because it is causing quite a lot of issues.
It is, and there's a lot of comments, and I keep getting asked for my views and how I think. And what are your views? Well, I'll give you my views, but I won't tell anybody. I've only passed my driving test the same as 66,000 people on this island, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, it's a 20-mile-an-hour speed limit along there at the moment, so you shouldn't be going that fast when you approach those.
It goes to 30 halfway.
No, it doesn't. No. I'm glad you said that.
I saw some signs that say 30, but then they've got 20 temporary ones. So what's going on?
At some stage, the thought of it going to 30, those signs were put up. It hasn't gone back to 30 yet. That's part of the review at the end of the job. But the bag is still on the sign, but it's been ripped by the weather or whatever. So that needs to go back up. I mentioned that yesterday. Hey?
I thought it was always going to be 30, but there was a lot of conspiracy it was going to go to 20.
It's 20 from the sea terminal down at the moment.
At the moment.
The whole length.
They're permanent signs, aren't they? Some of those, I think.
They are.
Yes.
But we haven't had, as I said, it'll be reviewed at the end of, there will be a safety audit, a complete safety audit at the end of the job. So, and there was always plans for it to go back to 30 from the Empress, if you like, down towards Summerland, because it widens out there and it lends itself more to it. But the safety audit will tell us that. Personally, I'm not convinced of that.
You think 20 better?
Yeah. I think the way the traffic is and that, I think it will just lend itself more to 20. But
that part of the prom, without sounding a bit churlish, once the horse tram's up and running, it will be at the speed of a horse tram most of the days, won't it? Because nothing like a bus can get past the horse tram. They're further apart now, these tram lines, aren't they? So there's less space than ever, probably.
And if you've got cars in the car parking spaces, and then you've got somebody alongside dropping off or loading or unloading or whatever the case may be, then you'll have to be very careful and very slow as you go past. So.
Goodness, talking about the horse trams, here we go. I wasn't going down this route. Have you got any personal ideas, plans to get this thing up to the sea terminal in your
not at the moment
lifetime? I mean,
in my lifetime.
I'm talking about 4.5 years.
Would you like to tell me how long my lifetime is?
You know what I mean? in your tenure at DOI, is there going to be plans?
It will be looked at.
So Will of Tynwald, wasn't it, to have it? The Will of Tynwald was to get them up there, wasn't it?
Originally, it was part of the plan for sure. But at the moment, we just want to get the prom finished and let's maybe have a year or two of just let peace and quiet and everybody enjoy it and just before we start disrupting it again.
And come to my prom, by the way, it's been de-scoped. I reckon that's a great sort of way of putting it. De-scoped.
I saw that word, But obviously, a lot of the work has been done along the edge of the road. You've seen the flower beds and whatever. So
wildflowers. Isn't
a lot of the work has been done. So there'll be a lot less.
Okay. Will you finish off the walkway, by the way? Because I walked the whole thing and I was quite surprised in places. It's pretty patchy.
Yes, there is plans to do the whole.
That will be part of the package.
The walkway will be done,
Mm-hmm. And will the fare be still welcome on there in future, or things like that will be stopped? Because that's been a bit of an issue, hasn't it? The way it chews up the.
I mean, you're the first one to mention the fare for this year.
I don't know if there is one.
It's not been mentioned as far as I know yet. No. But
okay, just to finish this whole thing, I know we're literally going over old ground. You were promising to go to Liverpool to see what's going on. I think I've seen pictures now. Things are out the ground.
Yes, steelwork.
You've seen it yourself yet?
I haven't been across. No,
no,
I haven't had the chance at all.
You booking your EasyJet or whatever?
Sorry,
you're going to book your or steam packet to get there.
I will be going at some stage in the next few weeks to have a look at it
in an official capacity.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So they will tell you what's going on. You'll be reporting back to Tynwald or maybe to us anyway. But
I'll probably get questions asked anyway. So I mean, either I make a statement or somebody will ask me. But
Are you going to give them a bit about talking to?
We need to go and have a look at it and see what's going on, and just at the moment the guys have promised to do what they can and try and bring it forward as much as possible. They've got 18 months or thereabouts, and they've said they'll do the best, weather permitting. If this winter carries on like this, touch wood.
And this year's TT, people will still be able to access the old. It's still there, is it? The access, and we're keeping that for another year, are we? Did we get an extension? Because I know there was a lot of push to get us out there for 2022.
Yeah, there was, but as far as I know, we'll still be using that for this TT and up until we move off there and go to the new terminal.